All right. It is time for the 49ers to announce who they are picking at 75. It doesn't look like it is going to be leaked. So we are going to be able to hear it straight from the announcement. Oh, the San Francisco 49ers select Oklahoma State linebacker Nick Martin. All right. I like Nick Martin. This is I actually think this is I like this pick, man. This is your Dre Greenlaw replacement right here. This is your Dre Greenlaw replacement. And there you go. Maybe isn't the name that a lot of people were looking for, but that is the exact role that he is going to fill. He is very quick, very active. Um, honestly, not bad at all. And we're going to talk about why and talk a little bit more about what he has been able to produce right now for the San Francisco 49ers. But that is the pick. They go Nick Martin, Oklahoma State at pick 75. 49ers select Oklahoma State linebacker Nick Martin at pick 75. All right, instant reactions in the chat. Drop them. How do we feel about this pick? Again, might not be the name that you guys are looking for, but this is definitely an underrated. This is an underrated pick right here. I've talked about this guy throughout this process. He was a guy who stood out to me. I don't I again I see the vision. I thought he was severely underrated in some of the PFF rankings. He was like ranked as like a seventh round pick for a good portion of this process, which I did not understand. But this is what the San Francisco 49ers are getting. They're getting a 22-and-a-half-year-old linebacker, 6 foot, 220 pounds. Last year, he had 30 tackles. He accounted for 6 sacks. He had 8 quarterback hits and 16 quarterback hurries. So this is interesting. They clearly blitzed him quite a bit. Oh, excuse me. That this is from their 2023 season. Um, I can see why he wasn't heavily discussed. Uh, it appears he had an injury after week 5. So he played his first 5 weeks with Oklahoma, and he did not play after that. So only 361 snaps last season, where he accounted for what looks like 9 total pressures, 1 sack, 4 hits, 4 quarterback hurries. He had 38 tackles, and 11 of those were assisted. But if you look at his 2023 season, that's when he had a huge, huge season. 102 tackles, and that's where he had the 6 sacks, 8 hits, 30 total pressures. So basically, what I think the 49ers are trying to tell us right here is they think that he could be better, or he might not be getting the credit that he deserves because of the injury that he had. So he definitely got knocked out and wasn't able to finish the season. But that's what the San Francisco 49ers are getting right here with Nick Martin. As I said, he's a very fluid athlete. Like he really knows how to move for sure. So yeah, I'm not too upset with this pick. I don't know how the league values him, but he's I mean, when you look at his 40, he ran a 4.53. So I mean, he's very quick. His short shuttle a 4.23, vertical is 38 inches, and he benched 26 reps. So, hey man, this is your Dre Greenlaw replacement right here. That's who the 49ers just got, a guy who is very, very active. So, again, just had his last year. Looked like he got knocked out from injury, but this is a guy who feels and I mean, he really does look like uh, a Dre Greenlaw clone. But the 49ers take him here 75. So, what is your instant grade? Looks like Jalen Knoll just goes to the Texans. Wow, the Texans got both of them. The Texans took Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins. That's crazy. So I think this is going to be a pick that depends. Depends on what you're thinking, right? Because I think if you're going to base it off media rankings and you're going to base it off that, that would be considered a reach. This would be considered a reach. But clearly, they went and got a guy who they see fits what they're looking for. So I would assume that they're really looking at Nick Martin like this is going to be a guy who is going to fit that Dre Greenlaw role. This is their Dre Greenlaw replacement, and they identified who they wanted, and they went and got him. I wasn't expecting Nick Martin to go at pick 75. He seemed like a 100-plus guy to me, but again, clearly the 49ers saw enough that they liked, and they went and got their guy. They weren't going to let him slide. They weren't going to take a chance at 100. Um, so I don't. Again, this is the thing with the draft, right? We talk about value. That would be the only thing that I really don't love about this pick. Other than that, I like the player. I think Nick Martin is a really good player. I thought he was super underrated all throughout the draft process. Again, he's a very good mover. He's very aggressive. He's a good tackler. He's all over the place, and he just got kind of knocked out due to injury last year. And so, hey, that's they go out, they get a guy, maybe a little bit of a reach, but again, at the end of the if this guy comes out and plays significant snaps, then we're not going to be talking about a reach at all. Um, so you think about this spot. So think about the process, right? The process was this felt like a good spot for a linebacker. He's in that same category, Chris Paul, and Jeffrey Bossa. So that's what I'm going to say to you. If you would have taken Chris Paul or you would have taken Jeffrey Bossa right here at pick 75, then you should like this pick of Nick Martin. They're the same type of player. Again, we talked about this with almost near every single pick so far. The same thing applied with the Alfred Collins pick. Is there's an archetype, but there's multiple players who fit that archetype. You just have to pick which player you want. And so with the Nick Martin archetype, it's Chris Paul, Jeffrey Bossa. they opted to go with Nick Martin. So I don't have a problem with that. Um, I get it. There's probably a thought process out there that exists where maybe you could have got him at 100. Um, Maybe you could have got him a little later. I don't know. I don't know how these teams rank these guys. But I will tell you that, again, Nick Martin was super underrated all throughout this process. So I'll continue to say I like the player. I like the player quite a bit. So I have no problems with the player. I think this player is going to come in and he's going to be uh, probably thrust into a pretty big role. And I think it does say something about Winters and, Winters not really developing maybe as they had hoped. So they go out and get a linebacker and Nick Martin. Again, my advice on this one is don't worry about where he was selected, worry about the player. And this is a good player. So I think the 49ers got their guy. And this is another thing to keep in mind. I guarantee Robert Saleh had a lot of input into this pick. So that's what I'm saying, man. This is a good player. You got the Robert Saleh stamp. And hey, good things happen when Robert Saleh picks third round linebackers. So before we judge too harshly on the value of where Nick Martin was taken,